Welcome, everybody. It's your girl, Delores, just a pink girl in my pink world, here on every social platform with my good brother, J News. J News, do you got something to tell the good people?
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's your brother J News, and I'm back at it again here on the Hit the Roast podcast. It's been a couple of weeks for me, but I'm back at it again here with lovely Dolores, and we're going to break down and let you know as to what the week was in pro wrestling. So we're gonna get this show started and get on the
Listen,
road.
J News, while you gone, everything just went wrong. We lost Sabu. We
Ah,
had I forgot the boy name. Go against Shelton in a Twitter battle. It seemed like everything just went haywire this week. Okay. Also, Joey Janela, you're a ho. I thought, and we just had this conversation a week ago, that Joey was growing up for him to do an interview and let us know. Not yet. He didn't grow up, not yet.
I'm
Cause I
not
don't
even
know.
sure what that means.
Okay, so what happened is that Joey had an interview with Fightful to talk about the Sabu match. Well, the night before, Sabu's managers or whatever told Joey that Sabu was literally in severe pain and his feet were bleeding and he could not make the show. Joey's response to that was, "This is the biggest match of my life. There are many eyes on this match. Make him show up." Uh then Joey was backstage waiting on Sabu to show up. They were told that Sabu was given something to get him through the match. Something, I don't forgot the name of it. It's weird. No, hardly people take it, but it's supposed to like numb him to get through the match. He still did not want to do the match. Joey was like, "You better get him here. There are a lot of people here. They're waiting for this match. He has to show up." If you remember right, when Sabu got in the match, I told you he was pointing at his feet. He had like tennis shoes on, and he was looking like he was trying to back out the match. He was. And so, but Joey was like, "No, we're doing this. We're doing this." They have the match. He is somewhat injured during the match. But during the interview, all he was concerned about was how he would look, and this was the biggest match of his career. Being that a lot of people are saying that he took this stuff, he has had addict issues, but he took it because he was forced to show up. And so that could have led him into a spiral or contributed to what happened to him to make him pass away. And then Brett Lauder's response was, "Sabu's a grown man and he did what he wanted to do." Come off looking like a hole because you did not care about this man's health and safety, well being, and all you were concerned about was him showing up because you had sold tickets. And so that's why Joey is getting bashed in online social media sphere, and so is Brett. To the point where I covered last week a show called Big Time that was supposed to happen in Maryland, and they changed the name of the show. Same matches, same everything. They changed the name of the show and just kind of put their head down and tried to get through. So we'll see. Hopefully they'll come to some. They had some kind of like half tribute apology, but it doesn't erase the fact that Joey said openly that he knew he was sick, knew that he had problems, knew that they said Sabu, his manager said that he couldn't walk and that his feet were bleeding really bad. And Joey's response was, I don't care. I need you to show up. And so It is what it is. But RIP to Sabu, because to me that's horrifying to think about, that you're that hurt and that sick and you take some weird drug to kind of get you through something, and then you end up dead weeks later. So, like, it's been a week since WrestleMania, a week or two since WrestleMania weekend. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So it did take a couple of weeks. I wasn't aware of any of this because I'm not tuned into that sphere. Um, I don't I don't watch too much GCW. Uh, that's more or less your thing. My boy Johnny tried to get me into it and whatnot. We went to a live show here
they have
in.
some good wrestling matches, and now they're trying to do storylines. So
Mhm.
they're improving. It's just that even if Sabu didn't die after the interview, that was something that Joey shouldn't have said publicly. Period. That I knew a man was injured and hurt, could not walk, that he had to take something. And he said Sabu was sky high and then respond with, "But I don't care. This is the biggest thing. He got to do it. He just got to do it." That's not something you suppose. I would have took that down with me. Nobody would have ever known that. Maybe some close friends, but I mean, he said it during the interview, and so it is what it is. But that's why Joey is getting a lot of flack online in social media, and Brett was getting a lot of, because Brett allowed it, and then now people are saying, well, what about WWE's involvement with GCW? Will that be cut off because this is a bad look? You let a man knowingly, that people behind the scenes knowingly, including Brett, saw three sheets to the wind go out there and wrestle in a hardcore barbed wire match. So, well, we'll move on from here, ladies and gentlemen, because we had a semi-coastal easy. Why did it go that way? Boo. I didn't tell you to do all that. Oh no, because last time we was here, we did that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Hit the Ropes podcast. You know what it's time for? It's time. It's time. It's review time, ladies and gentlemen. And we're gonna start off with WWE. Listen, WWE. We're gonna go to WWE Raw, which was on Netflix. If it lets me, it don't want to let me go over there, J. There we go. I have to do that. Raw on 5/12 on Netflix. We had Penta defeating Chad Gable. American Made, Brutus Creed and Julius Creed defeating the Royal Raiders of Eric and Ivar. AJ Styles defeated Finn Balor. And Io Sky and Rhea Ripley defeated Julia and Roxanne Perez. J News, did you see this? And what did you think about it?
Unfortunately, this past week I did not tune into any WWE related content, so these results are new to me. I didn't even watch any of the clips on YouTube or online or on social media or whatever the case is. So I don't necessarily know as to what happened on Raw or NXT or SmackDown and stuff like that. So um, looks like your typical episode of Raw. Can't really say anything about the matches, or any sort of continuum on the storyline standpoint. So yeah, you'd have to fill me in with this.
Listen, I watched Raw and Raw watched me after a while because I'm gonna be honest, I got a little bored. And you know what happens when you get a little bored, J News? You take a nappy nap. It's time for a nap. And so I would say the only match that I was excited for after before I went to sleep was the Penta match. AJ Styles Finn Balor, I watched it again and I wasn't as excited as I thought that match should have been. And so at that moment I was like, I'm just over this. Because at a certain point it was, let's move us down. It was more of a pacing like kind of thing. It doesn't link. It seems like Finn Balor is leaving the Judgment Day. We kept with the Penta Chad Gable thing because, as we remember, last week, El Grande Americano got involved and headbutted with the thing. Also, this is stupid to me. I don't know if anybody else finds it stupid that a man can knock somebody unconscious with a headbutt with a lead piece in his mask, but somehow not hurt himself when he does this. Because sometimes he jumps off the rope when he does this. Sometimes he headbutts face to face standing up. I don't understand that, but you know that common sense ain't common to everybody, so we're gonna leave that as that. The Io Sky Rhea Ripley match, it was more like they seem to be very trying to push Roxanne and Julia up to the main roster, and that's their thing. And so that's the reason why we had that match. This kind of like, you know how we had those introductory matches where we see somebody so many times, and then next thing you know, they're a staple on Raw, SmackDown. That's all that was. And I could have really done without the American Made World Raiders match. So I wouldn't say where I'm normally like, yeah, Raw was exciting and fun and new. I wouldn't I wouldn't go back and, run that again. But it's whatever. Some people need to I think they're trying to set up some stuff, but mostly I don't know why they were setting up some things because the pay-per-view is not nowhere soon and it seemed a little bit rushed and jumbled. It was a waste of time. Friday, we'll talk about that. That was a different story. But NXT, we're about to get into that. Jay knows all I want to say about the pay per view is I want to see what this pay per view on Sunday is going to be. We'll talk about it Sunday at 1 because we always cover things that happen on Sunday evening on the Sunday that it happens. But listen. I'm gonna be watching the watch along, but we're probably gonna be playing more games than watching the watch along. WWE has disappointed me this week. Ladies and gentlemen, we have NXT. NXT was on the next night on the 13th on the CW. Non-title match. Oba Femi defeated Charlie Dempsey. Wesley defeated Tony D'Angelo. Miles Bourne defeated Ethan Page. Thea Hale and Tatum Paxley ended in a DQ. Jordan Grace and Stephanie Vaquer defeated Fatal Influence of Fallon Henley and JC Jane. J News, I know you didn't see none of this. Did you see any clips of it?
No, not at all. I was not tapped in this week at all.
Yeah, I would say this was okay because they have a pay per view they setting up for, which is Sunday the 25th. And for those who don't know, I will be doing a watch along for it. We'll talk about it later on. But and also WWE, what the is up with this 7:30 start time? Y'all in America, y'all can't start at 8 o'clock because they happened the last pay per view. It said 7:30, but as we know, J News in the past, 7:30 means they're gonna talk for 30 minutes to 8 o'clock. I was watching and I thought the first match was the pre-show, and then I realized no, we are in the show. But you know what? I think some of these storylines setting up to the pay-per-view are just weak. They're not strong. And we've been going through this for the past few weeks. But in WWE's credit, sometimes they have bad storylines or weak storylines, but they'll have um, good shows. So like we'll be like, why is this happening? But the match be great. So that's what I'm hoping for. But like I said, I think I'll be playing more games than some of these matches that are happening on Sunday. But if you want to have a good time, come on in. We'll accept you. As Ruby says, welcome in. Ladies and gentlemen, we had SmackDown. That happened on Friday. Money in the Bank qualifying match, triple threat match. Alexa Bliss defeated Chelsea Green and Michin. We had Fraxium, Axiom and Nathan Frazier defeat DIY, which is Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Aleister Black defeated Carmelo Hayes by DQ. Money in the Bank men's qualifying triple threat match. Solo Sikoa defeated Jimmy Uso, Ray Phoenix. J- I refuse to call this man JC Mateo. This is ridiculous. No, so many WWE. Oh my God. I'm going to call him by his name. Jeff Cobb defeated LA Knight. And for the WWE Women's title match, Tiffany Stratton defeated Nia Jax. I don't know if you saw it, J News, when Nia was coming up. When she was coming in the building and Tiffany Stratton's face was on one of the trucks. She was like, I didn't know we face tuned on trucks. And that made me laugh. Because she was, if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, Tiffany is, she's a little man-made, okay? And so the fact that Naya was like, they have to touch up your appearance to put you on a truck, had me dying laughing. I did enjoy these matches. Now, this is the show I would say I enjoyed out of all three shows from WWE. Did you see any of this? Any clips? Anything?
The only thing that I ran into over the weekend was over the weekend. I mean, we're still in the weekend, but over the last couple of days was the Jeff Cobb name change, doesn't seem to be catching on as of yet.
No.
So that was the main thing that I got out of his debut match on on SmackDown was just everybody, how most folks who knew of Jeff Cobb were disappointed in the name change. And outside of that, I think I caught a clip of the Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax match and stuff like that. Uh, looked very physical, looked very rough.
That's why I don't understand why did they name change him. Because I just looked it up again to make sure. His name is Jeffrey Cobb.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to assume that Jeff Cobb didn't allow WWE to trademark his given name. Um, so that's one, and then secondarily, obviously the WWE likes to trademark stuff so that they can put it on T-shirts and products and stuff like that, or whatever the case is. So you gotta fall in line when you're making a paycheck over there. So that's pretty much what that is.
You
From
know what? Somebody, and I realized now what they were talking about, online mentioned that Mateo, the Cueto, if you take the Cueto and leave the TEO, and the Matanza, you just take the MA. That sound like they combined all his characters into one. Jeff Cobb and was it Matanza Cueto? That's
right.
what it was.
Hmm.
Yes, it just, I was like, why couldn't we just leave him as Jeff Cobb?
Yeah, I
Why
thought.
can't we call him Cobb? I don't know what you want to call him, but this right here, this. I can't call him JC Mateo.
Yeah,
That makes my skin crawl. I don't know what's wrong with that, but I can't do it, J dude.
it's a bit much, but you know, that when you're on that WWE ship, you just gotta follow the current.
This and some of the music changes makes me want to just jump out the window. I wish they hire what's his name, the Russell Flow dude. Hire him, please. Because if you see some of the remixes he's done to some of the music, I would I would definitely make him a part of the team. He was a part of the team, but they fired him, and then he started working for like I think AEW for a little bit. But just please hire him back. Hire him back. He already works with Aleister Black and his wife, so please bring him back because he makes great music, and I need that because some of this stuff they've been playing, J News, between the names and the music. I mean, I can accept one bad thing, but I can't accept both. But if this is out of three shows that WWE has, I would say this is the one I would want people to go back and watch because it had some good matches. And I expected Alexa Bliss to win. I Jay Jeff Cobb, I expected him to win. Solo Sokoa, that was a given. But I didn't expect the Black Hayes match to end in the DQ. You know, everybody and their mama got to get involved. And Tiffany, I expected her to keep her championship, but she had a an okay match with Naya. They both were a little like wonky here and there, but it was an okay match. Ladies and gentlemen, my voice trying to leave me. It says no, don't leave SmackDown, but I gotta go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to AEW. AEW Dynamite. AEW Dynamite was $293 on the 14th on TBS, HBO Max, and this was Beach Break number one of it. Adam Page and Will Ospreay defeated the Don Callis family of Josh Alexander and Konosuke Takeshita. Ricochet defeated Zach Gowen. AEW World Tag Team Title Eliminator match. The Hurt Syndicate of Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin defeated Top Flight of Darius and Dante Martin by a referee's decision. AEW Women's World Title Eliminator four-way match. Mina Shirakawa defeated Tony Storm, AZM, and Sky Blue. AEW World Title Steel Cage match. John Moxley defeated Samoa Joe. Jay News, did you see any of this? And what did you think? Or did you see any clips?
No, I actually got to sit down and watch this show. The only show I watched this week. Overall, a solid episode of Dynamite. I thought. Great tag match with Adam Page and Ospreay, hinting at their feud, even though they were teaming in this particular match. Uh, Great performances by Josh Alexander and Konosuke Takeshita. I thought the Ricochet versus Zach Gowen match was very entertaining. Ricochet's really leaning into this heel character of his and using Zach Gowen to continue to evolve. Ricochet's heel character was to use a lesser term, a stroke of genius, I think, by whoever booked this and whoever thought about this. So it worked in everybody's favor. And Zach Gowen even at not even in his advanced age. Me and Zach Gowen are the same age. Zach Gowen looked great. He looked like he never lost a step. He's 23-year vet at the end of the day. He started very, very young. He started as a teenager. And to see him perform the way that he performed on AEW TV just took me back to an era of WWE that I didn't watch much, but I appreciated that they were able to get him over, regardless of the fact if it was a novelty or not. So props to Zach Gowen and AEW for doing that. The World Tag Team Title Eliminator match wasn't. This was the segment of the show where I thought things kind of broke down in a negative way. There's no in from a common sense standpoint, and I'll use that term loosely. You don't necessarily ever think that Dante and Darius Martin are going to have a chance against a team like the Hurt Syndicate, and they didn't. But then there was a whole bunch of different stuff that was happening during after the match, during that talking segment when Crew came out. That felt a little flat and stuff like that. And then the Sons of Texas, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara, they came out post match as well to challenge the Hurt Syndicate and stuff like that. So that set up a match between the Sons of Texas and Crew on Saturday's episode of Collision. For whoever the winner of that match goes on to Double or Nothing to face Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. So we'll get to that if we can, to be quite honest, because I don't know what the hell happened on Collision last night. The AEW Women's Title Eliminator match was surprising to me, the way that they had Mina Shirakawa actually pin Tony Storm, even though it was a roll-up. But good showing by all the ladies. Great to see Sky Blue. Great to see Sky Blue back from injury. She looked like she didn't lose a step either. Azumi looked good. Tony Storm doing Tony Storm things, and Mina Shirakawa owes a thank you to the internet. I guess it seems like she came out to new entrance theme and new entrance music, and the internet was in an uproar in a very negative fashion. Tony Khan, as he always is every week, paying attention to what's going on the social media discussion. It seems like the majority of AEW fans did not like Mina Shirakawa's new entrance theme. So by the time that Mina finished and won the match, she was being let out with her old Stardom based entrance theme. So that got taken care of right away. So props to Tony Khan for doing that, I guess. I didn't think that the song was that bad, to be quite honest. It just, I think if you would have given it a little bit more time, uh, not you in general, not you specifically, Dolores, just folks in general. Like I feel like people don't have this a sense of patience. Like this is supposed to be a new presentation for Mina, and this is supposed to feel like something new for her. So for her to, I think, Tony Khan's a very collaborative boss. So I would figure that being that Mina Shirakawa's voice was lent to this new entrance theme and things of that nature, she wanted the new entrance theme as well. And for that to kind of fall flat within the given night, you know, with the fans going having an uproar, it's like, well, okay, I guess people don't have enough patience to let something hit. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I didn't think the song was that bad. Given time with Mina's new dance and everything that she came up with for this new song and all that, it's like, people got to give stuff a chance, because if they don't, then how do they expect people to evolve as characters and as talent on TV? So
I would say, okay, I'm gonna go the opposite route. I tell my clients sometimes stick to one thing and people will get used to it. For instance, uh, I heard somewhere else, I don't know where it was, but I happened to be going by the computer and I heard do 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 do, and it was like our song for the beginning of our show, and I was like, wait a minute, oh, I know J. Luz didn't go live because I'm so used to hearing it for our show that equates to me. There's a Hit the Rose podcast about to come on. And I tell people, when you have a theme for something, stick to it for a while because people can identify. Even walking past your computer, they're like, "Oh, it's such and such." Oh, wait a minute, let me go check out, because sometimes YouTube will switch when something is over with. It'll automatically play something else. So that's for her, especially her coming into AEW. A lot of people know her theme and are getting to know her. And then when you switch it, it's like, who coming out? Who is that? What is that? I don't know that. And it's gonna take us time to get to know. And people don't want to get to know anything else right now. They want to get to know her at her where she is. They don't want her to be changed, because sometimes that's a slippery slope. You change the theme, you change the dancing, you change it. And the next thing you know, she coming up with blonde hair and blue eyes, and we don't want that. We are desensitized from WWE. We know when the music change, the character change. And so for some people, they're like, don't do that. Don't do that. Listen, Jericho has been a heel, a face, an a-hole, and everything else. All pretty much with the same thing. And it's like, I think that's what people are like. They know, regardless of if Jericho's a heel or not, he is coming out to this thing. Hey, let me chat just disappeared. Hey, Leonica, how you doing? How you doing? So I know why. Listen, YouTube has been, they've been acting weird. They've been acting weird. Also, if you're in my chat, remember exclamation pink, drop your link for other people to connect to you. But I think that's the thing about it, that why people are like that. Because they notification do not want to go out, do it. Uh, they're used to a certain thing, and they expect that if you change a person's character. And at first, when I heard it, I was like, "What the helly?" That was just, I was literally like, "We're not going to do this, are we? We're not going to change her." And first of all, my biggest complaint about her is that this goofy dance that she does. I find it hilarious every time I see it, but at a certain point, it was like, sis, you ain't on beat, okay? The beat is over here, and you're right here, okay? The two opposites, okay? And then I enjoy that she's coming up with something different, but we like who she is right now. We don't want her, even when she was a heel, like healing it up. She still had the same song, and we still were like enjoying her and getting that one moment when she's dancing. We had a good time with her. So I don't want, selfishly, I don't want her to change because I like the product that she is producing right now and how she's packaged right now. And I feel like I'm so used to WWE and other companies that when you change that, you change the product, and I don't want that to happen. So maybe it's best that she sticks with it to right now, and then she just slowly but surely over time changes it. But right now, this gimmick, this product, this music is packaged together, and that's what's working for her. Sometimes new things ain't the greatest. The grass ain't green on the other side.
Yeah, but if you don't try anything new, you can't grow. So
Yeah.
at the
But
end
I
of the
mean,
day,
she's been in the company how long now?
she's barely been there. So people can't have, unless you're a fan. And I'm saying this with a certain tone because it kind of frustrates me just in life in general. Unless you're a fan of Stardom, right? And the majority of fans who watch AEW are not watching Stardom on a weekly basis. You don't know her theme like that. So for people to be in such an uproar about a brand new theme song, theme music, it didn't change her character. She still came out looking like a glorious diva as she does, doing a new dance and things of that nature. Folks didn't even give it a freaking chance. That to me shows me
Well,
that
I think AEW marks are smart starter marks because I've seen a lot of them online.
it's yes,
I am a Stardom fan, but for
that's
me, it's
fair.
more like
I'm not yet
her
again.
music was attached to her.
Yet again, I'm not saying people don't watch Stardom, but if out of a million people who watch AEW on a weekly basis, I think about 50,000 of those people probably watch Stardom, probably
Yeah,
even less and whatnot. So, yet again, the loud minority wins out. And she didn't even get a chance to put something new out there without people complaining about it. And for me, that really diminishes someone's ability to grow on TV without getting killed for it. And that's a part of and I'm not going to sit here and say I've never been part of doing that in the past, but I'm trying my best nowadays to change that and just give people not the benefit of the doubt, but give the newer things that are coming onto
I
the
think if she
television.
had kept coming out with the new music, like after a week or two, I probably would have been like, okay.
That was the point of it though, right? It was something new, feel it out, play it back for maybe a week or two and stuff like that and see if it hits. If it doesn't, then whatever. But for the immediacy of it to be the way that it did, to change over the way that it did, and TK put her old theme out. I love the old theme, but I've been hearing it for years now. At the end of the day, so
Yeah.
I expected at least something new out of Mina. Now being that she's with AEW full
Can we do
time,
a mankind? Can she come in? Can she come out to something and leave with something?
no, because
Now that they've done it, you can do her mankind thing.
she's not a different character. It's just a new theme music. It's just new. It's just a new theme song. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
but like,
And I understand your point, Dolores, about people are so used to if the theme changes and the character changes. But that's the WWE world.
yeah,
AEW necessarily never been like that.
yeah.
So
That's
you got to
why
see things separately.
I think we're so used to, and even with AEW, not too many changes. I think that's also a shock for them. It's like they're not used to changes. It's like if you used to as a kid, your mama and daddy come in the house and give you a hug, and then one day, uh, months later, they walk in and they just look at you and keep moving. You're gonna be like, something wrong. I don't like this. This ain't cool with me. And that's how some people are. Some people like the things they like. They like it the way they like it, and they don't want you to change it. And so, regardless if you know her or not, they like the way she's been packaged. They like her music, and they don't want to change it. And they've been scarred by WWE. And so, That's understandable as a wrestling fan. If you have always, all your life, been taught that this is the way things are, regardless of if it's something new, you still have that fear and you want what you want. So I hope maybe if she puts it out online, maybe if we listen to it a couple of times, maybe if something,
Nah,
something.
that song's not coming back. You can't have that happen. TK already undid whatever everybody else was complaining about, so you can't go back to it at this point.
I wonder if
So
he also thought about the song and didn't quite like it
I
either.
don't. He first of all, to that specific point, he has final say on everything. So if he didn't like it initially, he should never put it out there.
But we've heard him say many a times he didn't like something or didn't believe in something, but he did it anyway.
So for me, it's just it's empty in that sense. So to me, I thought it was just one of those moments where social media and the internet wrestling community got a win unnecessarily because
Yeah,
they just didn't give something a chance. So
yeah, I can understand what you're saying about they should have gave it a chance because there's also two things that WWE has scarred us: changing music and changing characters, and also ramroding things down our throat. Was like you gonna take this and you gonna accept it, and we're like, whereas I can understand Tony. He's been a wrestling fan. He was a WWE fan. He don't want to upset his consumers, and so he switched it immediately. But he could at least gave it 1 or 2 weeks because we would have. Oh, I don't do that over there. I don't do it over here either. But yeah, so I can understand where you're coming from, and I also can understand where, as they say, trauma will make people go crazy, and so people have been desensitized and traumatized by WWE and some of their actions. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and
Dolores, you're muted if you're hearing me.
listen, the mute button was acting crazy. I said I give TK his props because he has shortened down ROH. Okay, I ain't got to pack a picnic and a lunch, J News, because we had these shorter matches and we had storyline promos and stuff in between. I'm ecstatic, J News. Willa Yuta defeated Matt Mako. Trisha Dora defeated Rachel Ellering. The frat house of Cole Carter and Griff Garrison defeat defeated the Dark Order of Alex Reynolds and Eva Uno. Deep breath, Dolores. I'm tired of looking at this damn match. I really am. I really am. The Sons of Texas, Dustin Rose and Sammy Guevara, along with the Von Erichs of Marshall and Ross Von Erich, defeated MXN Collection, Mansoor and Mason, the premier athletes of Ari Davari and Tony Nese. Jay News, did you see any clips from this, and what did you think?
No, I didn't. I got a little confused during the week because the week prior, um, somebody over in AEW/ROH decided to put a full episode of ROH on YouTube,
Yes.
and they did not follow up with that this week. So I was not aware that this went down at all. So yeah, I don't know what all
I
this.
think they are now teasing things to get people interested. WWE is beginning to do stuff like that, where like I don't know if it was WrestleMania, I don't know what series it was, where it just all came out on YouTube, and I was like, "Don't y'all normally keep this behind like a company, a paywall, or service?" And they was like, "No," and so I think they were just testing it out, to kind of throw a bone out there. And so that was the only bone we probably gonna get because I know I am not. Let me not say it. That's one subscription I don't have. And then J News knows I got a lot of subscriptions to wrestling, but that ain't one because it was like the wrestling on there wasn't the greatest at first, and then on top of that, we were having a picnic and a lunch. But when I say a picnic and a lunch, ladies and gentlemen, it means I'm there all day and all night with like 12 matches, and that was just too long for me. So yeah, I am sick of this frat house against the Dark Order. Whatever the next ROH pay per view, I hope it ends. Okay, and I don't think ROH is having a pay per view no time soon. So save me. They keep adding people to the Sons of Texas feud with the MXM collection over there too. Trisha Dora, I was proud to see her. I need to see more of her. And I also need to see more of her not in ROH. I need to see more of her on the main roster. She's that good. Willa Yuta, I don't know. He was there for a cup of coffee. I don't know. But I can say, like I said before I said any of this bad stuff, I appreciate Tony for cutting down the show. Because literally one time, J News, I reviewed 14 matches on the show on the other platform that I used to be on. Well, I'm still on, but Workers Wrestling, I reviewed 14 matches on ROH. You tell me why. And it wasn't like 14 1-minute matches or 14, like 1 or 2, 3 minutes. No, it was like 10, 15 minutes a match that I had to watch. I literally got up from my computer, J News, went and got something to eat, and came back and finished. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going way back to the back. And we're going to talk about AEW Collision, ladies and gentlemen, which was from last night. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, the bottom cut off. I got through most of it, and then nap pursued. Because as you all hear my voice leaving, I'm not doing the greatest. Kyle Fletcher defeated AR Fox. Megan Bain defeated Anna Jay. Bandito, Brody King, and Tomohiro Ishii defeated the Don Callis family of Lance Archer, Rocky Romero, and Trent Beretta. Mike Bailey, he defeated Blake Christian. Chicago Street Fight. The Learning Tree, Big Bill and Brian Keith defeated the Gates of Agony, Bishop Kong, and Toa Leona. We had an AEW title #1 contendership match. The Sons of Texas, Dustin Rose and Sammy Guevara defeated Crew of Action Andretti and Leo Rush. And the match down at the bottom, Powerhouse Hobbs defeated Willa Yuta. J News, what you think about it?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch this yesterday. The only thing that I know about that a lot of folks ran into an issue watching AEW live, either be it on Max or on television, is that the last half an hour of the show did not air on television and or on Max, either on the East and West Coast. So the show was preempted after 90 minutes, and folks were not able to see the last two matches of the night. So I wanted to make sure that to put that information out there. The last half hour of Collision yesterday on Saturday was not aired on TV, and it was not on the Max live stream at all. I was looking for it yesterday because Tony put out a tweet. Tony Khan, that is, put out a tweet saying that that the full length episode would be on after 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I got on because I was working late last night. I got on at midnight and I got on to Max, and the episode wasn't on there. But not only wasn't Collision's episode of yesterday not on there, this past week's episode of Dynamite wasn't on Max at all either. So
Yes, I noticed that too.
there seems to have been some sort of a strange technical difficulty going on between the TV broadcast service and the streaming side of things over at TNT and Warner. So I'm not sure if they have resolved that as of this morning so far, because I didn't check. But that was definitely a bad look, not on AEW's part, because it was not AEW's responsibility to air the program. That is TNT and Warner Brothers' responsibility. So this is up. This is on Warner Brothers' end and their transmission services end of things, or whatever the case is. and that's just a bad look for TNT and the Warner Brothers umbrella in coming over to deal with AEW and what was seemed to be a solid show. AR Fox and Kyle Fletcher was exactly what I expected it to be. Real fun match. This is, I think, the third week in a row where they're running with an iteration of Megan Bayne or Penelope Ford versus Anna Jay or Harley Cameron. This particular storyline to me hasn't really gone anywhere for me. The with these four ladies, so this hasn't necessarily hit. Harley's funny as she usually is and stuff. This is the second or third other girl Harley's been paired with in the women's division so far, and Harley's always doing her best to be funny and to stand out. But for whatever reason, for me, speaking for myself, just the pairing between all four ladies just hasn't worked for me so far. Megan Bayne still looks dominant, so she's still looking strong, and Anna Jay's doing the best that she can, but she still needs some work, just from a timing perspective and things of that nature. So, wanted to mention that the multi-man match here, that was what it was. Can't wait for Brody King to get back to his Hounds of Hell group, uh, be that with Buddy Matthews and Julia Hart. And I haven't seen Julia on TV for a couple of weeks now, so I'm not too sure if something's up with her or not. Um,
Um, I can tell you that because I had to look at it. It is not in the last episode that it shows is 5/8.
okay, all right. So yeah, so even the streaming service for Max hasn't been updated for Collision and or Dynamite at this point, so they got to get on that. But they're the Don Callis family, the new evolved version of it. Just play, just this was more or less for them to play up their heel tactics and things of that nature. It seems like they're going to be involving the Outrunners in this because the Outrunners came in to make the save after the Don Callis family started to beat up on Ishii, Brody King, and Bandito after the win. So we'll see how the Outrunners tie into all of this in the coming weeks. Mike Bailey versus Blake Christian was another fun match. Uh, Blake Christian and AR Fox being used as enhancement talents is what it is. I always want my good brothers to get paid and things of that nature, but those dudes are super talented in my eyes and stuff like that. But to see them have dope matches, even in defeat, is always a cool thing. So props to them. Mike Bailey looking strong still, and Mike Bailey seems to be wanting to head towards a shot at the Continental Championship. So he called out Kazuchika Okada after his match was over, and Okada did his usual bitch bit, but I think someone else came out uh, during the post match um, to I guess upend Mike Bailey, and I'm forgetting who it was right now. But there seems to be some competition that'll be happening between Mike Bailey and another competitor before Mike Bailey eventually gets to Kazuchika Okada. So we'll see how that all breaks down. The street fight played out the way it should have played out. Um, I for one thought that this is probably the best bit of TV the Gates of Agony has ever done on AEW TV. This whole bit that they've been doing with the Learning Tree. So props to the boys from the Gates of Agony for getting some shine on Collision. And the street fight went as good as it could have gone with all parties involved. I don't necessarily know where Big Bill and Brian Keith go from here because the tag team title picture seems a little convoluted. So they need to clean that up somehow in order to make whoever the future challengers are in the tag team division to the Hurt Syndicate to make that picture a little bit more clear. So we'll see as to what happens with the Learning Tree going forward. And then the last two matches I was not able to watch and or have any sort of opinion on because they were not aired. There's no video clips of it online and or on YouTube. But thanks to Dolores, we have the we at least have the results here. So we're going to see the Sons of Texas take on the Hurt Syndicate at Double or Nothing. That's probably going to be another Hurt Syndicate win. And yeah, there's that of it. And then Powerhouse Hobbs beat Wheeler Yuta. So one member of the Anarchy in the Arena team, which is Will Hobbs. Will Hobbs is there with Samoa Joe and Swerve Strickland and Willow Nightingale and other folks as well. And then the other half of the Anarchy in the Arena team is going to have the Bucks. Oh, Kenny! I can't forget about Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega's on the good guy side. And then we have the Bucks, Mox. Not, I don't think all the members of the other Death Riders are going to be involved, but I know it's going to be Mox, Gabe Kidd, the mercenary, helping out the Death Riders here. Gabe Kidd's going to be involved in this match now. Probably Claudio and Marina Shafir, as per, because Willow's going to be involved on the other side. So yeah, that's going to be an Anarchy in the Arena match at Double or Nothing. So we're still leading up to that. And then this week is Go Home Week, so we'll see as to how everything breaks down on Dynamite and Collision.
Yes.
They're both Go Home shows.
And we'll be covering Double or Nothing the day of Sunday. Because ironically, there is Battleground and Double or Nothing. Save me, Jesus. All this work. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go back in the way back. And we're gonna go on to the next show, which is TNA Nonstop Wrestling. Uh if you all know, you know, I don't call that lady by her name, but TB and Victoria Crawford defeated Masha Slamovich and Nikita Lyons by DQ. The Great Hands, Jason Hodge, and John Schuyler defeated the Rascals of Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz. For the TNA International Title Number One Contendership four-way match, we had Matt Cardona defeat Ace Austin, Elijah Mance Warner. We had Indy Hartwell defeat Kelsey Heather. We had Zaya Brookside defeat Rosemary by DQ. And we had Jeff Hardy defeat Nick Nemeth. J News, did you see any of this and what did you think?
No impact for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say I watch Impact. For those who don't know, I sometimes do these slides and stuff a little early. And so TNA pre-records. So I generally know if TB is there, I just skip that. Okay. But I didn't skip this one because Masha Slamovich was in it and Nikita Lyons. But after I saw it, I immediately thought I should have skipped it. Okay. Um, Matt Cardona winning shocked me, winning the number one contendership title because he's still doing weird stuff in GCW is like the GCW quote unquote manager like WWE has. I love seeing Indy Hartwell. Uh, like that she won and that she did really somewhat good in her match. Jeff Hardy beating Nick Nemeth that that shocked me because I know they're big on Nick and Ryan, so like letting Jeff be the one. I'm like, okay, so they got faith in you, Jeff. They got faith in you. So I really, I would say this was a great show. I would say this is an okay show. Leading up to they have a pay-per-view coming on. And we'll talk about that later on. So back to the way back we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is GCW Game Changer Wrestling. If you don't know, I love me some GCW. I'm a little mad at them right now, but I kind of got over it. No, sorry, not GCW. Defy. We're gonna do Defy first. Defy had a really good show. Fatal Fantasy. It was on Trilla TV, ladies and gentlemen. On yesterday, not yesterday, the 16th. I don't know why I'm getting confused. They had a Friday show, which was unusual because they normally have a Saturday shows. J News gonna have to help me. Defy Primo Lucha title scramble match.
Yep.
Kevin Blackwood defeated Guillermo Rosas, Cody Chun, Eddie Pearl, Evan Rivers, and Miles DeVille in the title change.
Yep.
Guillermo Rosas was the champion. Marina Shafir defeated Kylie Ray. Good match. Go back and watch it. I'm not gonna say good match. It was a good match as far as I got to see Marina and Kylie together, which is like I like both of them. I listen for those who are like Dolores. You always say you don't like Willow and her happiness. Kylie, I can accept, and knowing her backstory also helps. BMF Battle Royal, Steve Miggs defeated Alan Angels, Casey Ferreira, Elliot Tyler, Liza Hall, Matt Brannigan, Mike Santiago, Randy Myers, Rebel Kell, Ricky Gibson, and Scott. Now this name kills me every time. LeBron LeBron Conzoni defeated Von Vertigo. The 5 tag team title match, Sinner and Saint, Judas Icarus and Travis Williams defeated Los
Suavecitos.
Salvacitos, which is Danny Rose and Ricky G. And my match that I had so much fun watching Minoru Suzuki beat Joey Janela. That made me excited. I will tell you, I'll go back. Defy always has good shows that has, if not every match might be a banger, but you'll have one or two that really gets you good. So I would tell everybody to go back and watch that. Ladies and gentlemen, now we're on to GCW, okay? And GCW had a show, which we talked about last week, which was supposed to be big time, but now it's GCW in Maryland, okay? They use the same graphic, but just change the words. Ladies and gentlemen, GCW in Maryland happened on yesterday. For the GCW Tag Team title match, Alex Price and Jordan Oliver defeated Bang and Matthews, August Matthews and Davey Bang. Bobby Flacco defeated Alan Angels, Chris Slade, and Junie Underwood. Mayu Yamashita defeated Marcus Mathers. One Kyle Manders defeated Jonathan Gresham. The Cougar brothers of Atticus and Otis Cougar defeated Joey Janela and Mr. Danger. Watch yourself. Because he's the man right here. Sing it. Greg Excellent defeated Jimmy Lloyd. We had GCW Ultraviolet title match of Vermont and Slade ended in a no contest. These people tried to unalive each other. And for a hardcore Ultraviolet match to end in a no contest, you know, there's a lot of shenanigans that happen. But they also they gave it their all. We had Ken Dixon defeat O'Shea Edwards. Yes, I said that. Yes, I said that. GCW World Title match, Effie defeated Ruckus, which was a fun match. And so I would say this is something that I wouldn't say go back and just see. But if you interested in hardcore matches and you like ECW from the past, GCW will be your company and this will be the one you would choose to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, on to the next one. We're on to New Japan, which is Jay News's thing. It is the best of the Super Juniors 32. I'm going to go over the bracket for you. Block A, Master Wado, Hiromi Takahashi, Kushida, Koze Fujita, Ninja Mac, Robbie X, Francisco Akira, Clark Connors, Kanemaru, and Dragon Dia are in Block A. Block B, we have El Desperado, Taguchi, Robbie X, Yo, Kevin Knight, Taji Ishimori, Teton, Sho, Nick Wayne, and Mao.
All right, folks. So it was last week. which was this was actually day 2 of the New Japan's Best of Super Juniors. Night 2, we had the opening tag matches. United Empire members Francisco Akira and Jacob Boston Young defeated Dragon D and Katsuya Murashima. Daiki Nagai and Nick Wayne defeated El Desperado and Shomakato. And then Hiromu Takahashi and Shingo Takagi, formerly of LIJ, defeated TMDK members Hartley Jackson and Kosei Fujita. Now on to block action. Block A had Ninja Mac defeat Robbie X in what was the most viral moment in New Japan Pro Wrestling history since Ricochet and Will Ospreay back in 2016. If you don't know, Ninja Mac did his Mac spring, his backflip handspring from inside the ring to the outside, kept backflipping towards Robbie X in a very, how can I say, in a very menacing fashion, and eventually hit Robbie X on the head with his legs. What a moment for Ninja Mac. He got the win here. 2 points for him on the board. We then had Mao from DDT defeat Kevin Knight. We then had Clark Connors, my dog for real, defeat Master Wato. We then had Robbie Eagles of TMDK defeat Yo. And then to the main event match of that night had Taguchi, the stalwart veteran, defeat Taiji Ishimori. We then went ahead to night 3, which was on the 14th of May. We had block action in block B. We had Teton have his match versus Taguchi, where Teton defeated Taguchi. Block A match, we had Francisco Akira defeating Ninja Mac. We then had another block B match, which had Robbie Eagles defeat Kevin Knight. We then had a block A match, which had Robbie X defeat Kushida. We then had a block B match, which then had Mao defeat Taiji Ishimori. We then had a block A match, which had the heel master, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, defeat Clark Connors via countout. Shenanigans afoot. We then had a block B match, which had Sho defeat Yo in a match that I thought should have been much better than what it was. But hey, whatever. Never gonna get that. The match that I've always looked forward to between Sho and Yo. Block A match, we then have Master Wato defeat Dragon Dia. We then have block B match, Nick Wayne going up against El Desperado and him getting the win there. So we'll probably end up seeing Nick Wayne sometime in the future get a shot at the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. And then the main event of the night had Kosei Fujita of TMDK defeating Hiromu Takahashi in that match. We then had night 4. We had started the night with block B action. We had Taguchi defeating Sho in 5 seconds. That wasn't really much of a match there. We then had Dragon Dia defeating Clark Connors. We then had Yo defeating Kevin Knight. We then had Kushida defeating Ninja Mac. We then had Nick Wayne defeating Robbie Eagles. We then had Robbie X defeating Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Teton defeated Mao. Kosei Fujita defeated Master Wato. Taiji Ishimori defeated El Desperado, which means El Desperado now has 2 future title contenders for that IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship somewhere down the road. And then in the last block A match, we have Francisco Akira defeat Hiromu Takahashi in the main event of that night. And then yesterday on the 17th, we started off with block B action. We had Taguchi versus Sho. Taguchi defeated Sho. Dragon Dia defeated Clark Connors. Yo defeated Kevin Knight. Kushida defeated... No. This is repeated. Yeah. Hold on, Delores. Before we do that, because I can always get to the results for yesterday. We had the door... What was today? Yesterday was the 17th. So we had Master Wato defeat Ninja Mac. We had Ryusuke Taguchi defeat Yo. Francisco Akira defeated Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Yoshinobu Kanemaru defeated Francisco Akira. We then had Sho defeat Robbie Eagles. Clark Connors defeated Robbie X. We then had Teton defeat Taiji Ishimori. Kushida defeated Kosei Fujita. And then we had finally Kevin Knight get his first win of the tournament over Nick Wayne, who got his first loss of the tournament. And then we had Hiromu Takahashi take a loss to Dragon Dia. So Dragon Dia is on the board twice this tournament in comparison to last year's tournament, where he only had one win. Now he has two wins. El Desperado in the main event, going one-on-one with Mao after 23 minutes and 31 seconds. El Desperado hit the Pinche Loco for the win on last night's event on the 17th.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep on with the preview and we're going to keep on with New Japan Pro Wrestling.
We already know what the blocks are. So today we had a show. We have the show started off with Block A action. We had Kanemaru versus Ninja Mac. Block A action, Robbie X against Kosei Fujita. Another Block A match, we had Hiromu Takahashi go up against Clark Connors. Block A again, Kushida versus Dragon Dia. Block A action again, Master Wato versus Francesco Akira. On for Block B, Taguchi versus Nick Wayne, Teton versus Kevin Knight, El Desperado versus Sho, Yo versus Mao, and then the main event of the night is going to be Taiji Ishimori versus Robbie Eagles.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're on to GCW, and GCW is going to be having. Wait a minute, went too far. Run for it. Listen, I saw it and was like, I need to run for it myself. I also thought about the Chris Brown song, Run. Listen, I always think about music. We're going to have Jonathan Gresham versus Jimmy Lloyd, Megan Bain versus Richard Holiday. To infinity and beyond. It is going to be Cheech and Colin Delaney versus Bang and Matthews, August Matthews and David Bang. Mayu Yamashita versus Billy Starks. Matt Tremont versus Matt Warner. For the JCW title match, we'll have Masha Slamovich versus Atticus Cougar. And for the GCW World title match, Effie versus one Carl Manders. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on to Wrestling Revolver. Also a show that will be on Triller TV like GCW. It is Let Us Cook, ladies and gentlemen. You don't know that gorilla song? She's like, let them cook. Yeah, let's. I hear buying. Let them cook. Listen. Let Them Cook is on the 18th, which is today. So after I leave here, later on, I got another show to watch, along with GCW. We'll have a no holds barred match: Ace Austin versus Damian Chambers. Pick Your Poison match: Rich Swan versus Gringo Loco. A Pick Your Poison match: Rhino versus Matthew Palmer. We have JJ Garrett and the Latinos Most Wanted, which is Coda Hernandez and Sabian Gage versus Dante Leon and Ty or Die, KJ Reynolds and Ryan Mathis. We have a PWR remix title match, Crash Jackson versus Jake Chris. We have a PWR tag team title match, which is the Macabre of Dreadnought and Crew versus Alpha Sigma of Brett Oakley and Casey Jacobs. For the Revolver title Dayton Street Fight match, we have Myron Reed versus BDE. I can't wait till tonight so I can watch this. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back on to the best of Super Juniors. You already know the blocks. Now you go for J News.
On the 20th of May, which is going to be this coming Tuesday, we're going to have Block A action, Robbie X versus Master Wato, Hiromu Takahashi versus Ninja Mac, Yoshinobu Kanemaru versus Kosei Fujita, Kushida versus Clark Connors, and Francesco Akira versus Dragon Dia.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. And the next show, which is on the 22nd, I didn't have any matches for it. Okay? But remember, on the 22nd, it will be another show. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk to you about TNA. And TNA has a pay per view, and it is called Under Siege. Under Siege will be on Triller TV and also TNA Plus app. We have TB versus Ariana Grace, Mike Santana versus AJ Francis. We have for the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Champion Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance versus Spitfire of Danny Luna and Jody Threat. We have Eddie Edwards versus Cody Deaner. We have for the TNA's women's world title match, Masha Slamovich versus Victoria Crawford. For the TNA World Tag Team title match, we have the Nemeth, Nick and Ryan Nemeth versus Leon Slater and Matt Hardy. Again, when I said storylines on TNA are weird, why is Matt and Jeff? Frankie Kazarian, Trick Williams, and Elijah and Joe Hendry will be having a match against each other. All I want to say, Jay News, is whoop that trick. That's what I said. Whoop that trick. Get him. Listen, I'm going to be screaming all the way for my boy, Trick Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, we're all going to be on to the next show, which is Best of Super Juniors. You know, the box.
We have matches for the 24th. Both Block A and Block B. As for Block A, we're going to have Clark Connors versus Ninja Mac, Kanemaru versus Roman Takahashi, Kushida versus Master Wato, Robbie X versus Francesco Akira, and Dragon Dia versus Kosei Fujita. On to Block B, we're going to have Teton versus Sho, Yo versus Nick Wayne, Ryusuke Taguchi versus El Desperado, Robbie Eagles versus Mao, and Taiji Ishimori versus Kevin Knight.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and we're on to our last show. It is going to be WWE. And we're having Saturday night's main event, and I will be having a watch along here on the channel on next Saturday, the 24th. You can watch it on NBC, your regular television channel, or you can watch it on Peacock. CM Punk and Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. For the WWE, a heavyweight title match, Jey Uso versus Logan Paul. Those are the ones that are announced right now. I think they've added some more. So when we get to those, we'll see you next Saturday. Now it's on. We're at the end of the show. But I got something else. I got a spotlight for you because Jay News got his spotlight ready and cooking. Jay News, tell them about your spotlight.
Spotlight for this week. I already mentioned the gentleman earlier when I was talking about the best of Super Juniors. The one and only Ninja Mac is the spotlight of the week. Why? Because Ninja Mac is the most viral wrestler, professional wrestler in all of professional wrestling right now. Man, Ninja Mac did the damn thing. Had one of the biggest viral moments in all of professional wrestling in recent memory. With all of his backflipping and handspring work during the Best of Super Juniors, he's having an excellent Best of Super. He's having an excellent showing as so far in the Best of Super Juniors tournament, folks. Do your best to go out and check out his matches so far in the Best of Super Juniors. Man, he's been doing his best work. This being, I believe, Ninja Mac's second year in the Best of Super Juniors tournament. Just wanted to spotlight him because he's been in the pro wrestling zeitgeist this past week, and I want to continue to give him his flowers. He's been working hard and doing his thing in the professional wrestling sphere, at least throughout the last decade or so that I've been hearing his name. And he's definitely somebody who's impressive to watch with all of his physical abilities and gifts. Super athletic guy, very strong guy as well, has a good power game in the ring when it comes to his offense. And his name is Ninja Mac for a reason. At the end of the day, has the ninja getup, and I believe the Mac part has more to do with his given name than anything else. So, just wanted to spotlight Ninja Mac this week because he's been part of the bigger wrestling discourse this week. So I wanted to spotlight him and continue to shine a light on him so folks can go out and check out his matches. He does usually work most U.S. independent shows. I know he's done a ton of shows for GCW. He does shows for Defy. He does you name it, he's been there, man. As a matter of fact, I know I've seen Ninja Mac do matches on AEW, and previously I believe he's done work for TNA in previous years as well. So Ninja Mac is a name. If you don't know, you should know. So check him out online. Check out his matches. Put it in a search inquiry on YouTube, and you'll find stuff for him. And if you're tuned in with NewJapanWorld.com, keep watching his matches on the Best of Super Juniors 32 tournament that is currently going on.
Yes, he was also spotlighted on Pat McAfee for the backflip that he had. And him and his
Yeah, the
co-host
viral
like,
moment, man. He was all over the chat. Yeah, they.
is he frozen? Is J News frozen again? No, not my J News. But yes, he was on Pat McAfee. They highlighted him because of his viral clip where he flips out over the ring, down the hall, the walkway, and to do what he did. And most of the men on the show had never seen anything like that. So that was good. Now we're gonna take J News back to the studio. There we go. Because it's time for J News to do his thing. But before, we always let ChatGPT just big up our good boy J News in hood way. Okay. And so for you hood people, it says, yo, stop playing and put some respect on J News' name. My dude breaking down movies like a hood Siskel and Ebert. Funny, sharp, and hella real. And don't sleep. He'll get your body right too. Cause he killing it in the fitness game. Co-host game strong, vibes always on point. If you ain't rocking with J News, you slipping, period. J News, let me get you back up here. J News, what did you think about that? I said both J News out. They said no J News gonna get up here. There we go. You on mute. I can't hear you.
So yeah, strong line from ChatGPT. Appreciate every time ChatGPT comes up with something. So can't discount that. As always, folks, appreciate y'all checking me out. Dolores put my link in the chat. That links you to my YouTube channel. This is the Workhorse Wrestling Network QR code here that you see there on the right side. And now you see my QR code. The QR code leads you to my link tree. My link tree leads you to my YouTube channel where you can uh, uh, see and listen to me and Dolores on a weekly basis here every Sunday on the Hit the Roast podcast. You can also check out my Letterbox account, which has all of my written reviews for the movies that I see in movie theaters only. You can also check out my audio only podcast. That's wherever you check out your podcasts and things of that nature. You can check me out there, and then it also links you to all my different socials, be it Twitter, and Instagram, and things of that nature. So that's what my link tree has. So if you want to check me out, you can check me out there. As always, folks, thank you for checking us out here on the Hit the Roast podcast and for participating in the chat. I will see you next week.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, that's a good man, Savannah. That's a good man. Y'all better go check him out. If not, I don't know what y'all gonna do. I don't know what y'all gonna do. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to release J News. I'm gonna come back up on the panels. It don't want to let me be great, J News. It was like, not today. So ladies and gentlemen, I am going to now it's time for me to talk about me. I know. I don't like to do that, but I'm gonna do it today. Uh I do not. Let me take this caption down. Because I normally have a rap lyric in which I give myself to to talk about something, but we won't be doing that today. I am taking my time out to um, tell everybody to please pray for 10. I know you've seen me talk about her channel, talk about who she is, talk about her courses, um, because she has been through a lot. And I hope nothing but for the best for her and that this community surrounds her and gives her all the love and positivity and prayers that you can. I can't tell you exactly when, but you can check my post section. I think Miss Joy will have another prayer stream. If you have not checked out the one she had from the other day, please go and check that out. It was very powerful, very moving. She prayed for the community as a whole, but also 10. And so we will continue to do that. I don't know if that will be a weekly thing with her, but if it is, please, I will post it on my post section for those who have something they want to pray about, something they want to fellowship with people about something they want to talk about, that is the place to do it. Also, I don't know if it'll be happening this week, but if you do, please sign up to Ten's women's closet. There's an opportunity for women to go in there and lay their burdens down and talk about things. And listen, it has been moving for, especially for me and some of the other women that come in there, and including Ten, to rally around one another and to support one another and to fellowship and talk together. And so I appreciate that. And so I'm taking my time out to tell her I love her. I'm always available, and that I want this community to support her like she's always supported us. That today is the first day I haven't seen Ten in my chat, and it's understandable. But she's always been here. Don't know wrestling, but I can expect her to be here. And I know she's done it for a lot of people, and I want a lot of people to support and rally behind her. So I appreciate her so much, and I'm praying for her and her family. On to other things before we get to me exactly. Like I said before, the women's closet, make sure you go to the educated.natural.com/products and sign up women to do that. So once that starts back, we all can fellowship with her and also fellowship and get to know each other, and talk about the things that are happening in our lives and support one another and give advice and help and need to one another. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know now, you know. I am a part of helping people connect to Track Factory Beats and Mr. Kit. He sells beats, good beats, good beats. I might have to take a couple of them myself. So please contact me at my email and things that I will be talking about in a minute ago, so I can connect to have a meeting so you all can get some of these beats. Because listen, he already gave me something to sell to people, and I was like, you know what? I might have to keep some of these to myself. Okay. But you know what? I'm for the people. I'm for the people, J News. So I'm gonna have to let some people hear it. Maybe if they want it, they can get it first, and I get some other ones, okay? Because he works with artists, so I need to get mine first. But I'll let y'all get some good beats too, but not like the ones I'm gonna get, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dolores of Dolores Designs. Before we get to that, this is not the flyer. This is an old flyer. But every Monday, I will be over at Miss Joy One MZ.JOSJOYS1, her channel for the community quilt. She does it every Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, where she is doing this quilt. Now it's changed now, ladies and gentlemen. It's a community quilt and more project, because we are now accepting more than just quilt blocks. We'll be accepting anybody. If you got services you want to donate, other things like shirts, cups that you make. If you have a business that does something, make lotions, soaps, whatever, we'll be having an auction to go towards the boys and girls. I think it's homeless youth in California, and so this auction will be towards the end of the year. We're giving everybody to October 1st to either turn in what they want to auction off, blocks, whatever, to go towards this community quilt, whatever you need. You can stitch, you can glitter, sublimate, you can put your logo on it, you can do whatever you want to. And this will include YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook coming together for these children who do not have anything, and you'll be providing them something and some type of support, and to know that people did something for them and they care about them, because sometimes their closest family is not there. So please come and check that out. Come check Miss Joy One out, because she's also the one who is doing the press streams. So make sure you check her out. Ladies and gentlemen, also, my girl Bedazzle Designs, she down in the bottom of the chat. Make sure you check out. She's gonna probably be going live today for on her Bedazzle Designs on the Move. So check that out. Now to get to me. Because I am important. I was important, J News. I am Delores Designs. I do graphic designs. I do social media work. I am here to help you get your business, your life, your social media together. Okay. So this is the number you can reach me at. This is the email you can reach me at. You can scan the QR code to get to my link tree, which has all my social medias. Hey, you like Dolores? The QR code too small. I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. It's gonna be right here. Bow. You can scan that QR code to get a bigger thing. And make sure you always check out the Hit the Ropes podcast live here at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out all our social medias. The Hit the Ropes podcast QR code is right here at the top of the chat. And if you saying, Dolores, I need a bigger one, I got you. Because you know we like to make sure you can see it. There you go. Hit the Ropes podcast. We have a link tree. We're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. We also on IG. We're on Facebook. We're everywhere. So make sure you check out the Hit the Ropes podcast. Because me and J News, we here. We here for the people. We here for the people, J News, aren't we? So good job, good job, good job. It was a slow wrestling week. Some news, some new things. And we learned today 2 companies having a problem with their characters. One with the music, one with the name. So this week we're learning from J News patience. Give it time, okay? It might grow on you, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, J News, do you know it's getting hot in here? But J News might be frozen. Oh yeah, he right. I'm about to say J News is frozen. Uh, it's getting hot in here, J News. And every time it get hot, J News, it's all because we spitting that hot fire. Okay? J News got that hot fire about movies and fitness and all of these great things that he knows how to do. I'm spitting this hot fire when it comes to this wrestling, about this technology, about these graphics and stuff. Cause I'm gonna come back. J News, you know, the other day I said I should quit. And then I ironically talked to my good sis 10 and she said, you can't do it, you know, because anybody who know me, I've said it before, I try to run and 10 snatches me back, okay? So I said to myself, self, can they do it like me? Can they spit that hot fire like me? And I said, no, because you know what? Fabo taught me, bet you can't do it like me, okay? Because I rock, I roll, I'm CEO, okay? That's how we do it over here. We bosses. Me and Jay knew some bosses. Okay? And because we some bosses, we spit that hot fire so good that it causes flames. And it gets hot. And at the end of the show, you know what I got to do, J News? I got to cut the lights out, J News. Because I got to give them some air. I got to let them breathe, J News. They got to survive. They got to survive another week till we come back and burn it down again. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, me and J News, we appreciate you. We love you. And goodbye. Peace.